Much to the chagrin of much of the capitalist class, the tech giants in France will now have to pay a significant tax. Now, France decided to increase the tax rate on many of the largest tech giants inside of the country. This is called the GAFA tax, and it's targeted many large digital firms, and it will come into effect yesterday. The French government hopes to raise 500 million euros or 572 million US dollars with levies specifically aimed at multinational tech firms such as Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire said, announcing the move in December, he stressed that the tax will be introduced whatever happens. Now, for some time, the French government has been wanting to put this tax on many of the large tech firms inside the country, which they criticized for having made millions and millions of dollars off of their countries, while essentially contributing nothing back in taxes. Now, the reason this is possible is because of the large, complex nature of many of these corporate structures, that they are able to transfer money to different subdivisions, so subsidiaries in other countries, so that they can avoid paying taxes. I mean, the richest people in the world finding ways not to pay tax is absolutely nothing new. So this is something that should be cheered on by France for deciding to do, to go ahead and make them contribute to the society that they profit off of so much. However, this is part of a larger tax push that has been debated in the European Union for some time now. Many countries in the EU want these tech giants to pay tax to the countries that they operate in as well. However, there are some opponents. Those two biggest opponents, the biggest one is Ireland, and two of the smaller ones are Estonia and Sweden. Now, the reason for this, obviously, at least with regards to Ireland, is the fact that Ireland is a tax haven for many of these tech giants. As you'll recall, earlier this year, the European Union fined a few of the tech giants for not paying taxes inside the European Union, and they were using Ireland as a kind of tax haven to try to avoid those. So you have a significant presence within the European Union asking for these countries to pay their fair share, yet those who benefit by being a tax haven for these countries are fighting against it because it is their interest in doing so. Now, this has probably been pushed ahead of schedule to be put through, largely due to the upheaval inside of France right now, largely the yellow vest movement. Now, while there's no real concrete, manifesto by the yellow vests, corporate greed seems to be something that both the left and the right can agree on in this situation. Many of those the elite of the bourgeoisie not contributing to the societies that they profit off of. And this is, a long-standing part of the very class nature of capitalism itself. So we can thank the yellow vests to a large degree for pushing this along and making it happen sooner, as Emmanuel Macron has previously stated that he will carry out and continue to carry out more reforms in the country in order to try to satiate much of the anger that is being thrown at him by the yellow vests protests. Now, obviously, as I have already described, that there are contradictions within the capitalist class. There are those in the bourgeois governments that don't want this to go through because it benefits their societies by being a tax haven. On the other end, there's the countries that are getting fleeced by these large capitalist enterprises because they don't contribute to that society. And so that's one of the problems with the EU, is that it is an amalgamation of capitalist states. And by the very nature of capitalism, that being a system set up of competing interests, you're going to have to navigate or mitigate these contradictions in some way. And that's part of why the EU Parliament exists, is to try to deal with many of these contradictions. That's why the judiciary is largely independent of the capitalist class and is in the hands of the bourgeois state, which tries to wield it with as much autonomy as possible to try to navigate these same contradictions. What we're just seeing these are on a national scale, as an international scale, as opposed to seeing it on a national scale, as you see with many of these countries. So it is important to understand why this happens, why there's some states that are defending it, and why some that are against it. So in this situation, it's good. It's something that the Yellow Vest should be celebrated for helping bring about a tax to those who have simply taken whatever it is they want from not just French society, but frankly from the entire world as well, and have them to start contributing to that society they profit off of so much.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.